What's up, guys? Sketchier Clown here, bringing you Spoiler Alert with Sketchier Clown and my co-host,
Circle K.
Circle K is here. I know I look like Discount Markiplier, which is what it is, but this is for breast cancer awareness month, so deal with it.
Yeah,
This is the thing.
Mine's gold. I don't know what that stands for, but I like it.
I think that's autism.
Oh, I have that, so...
There we go.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad, the movie that DC put out before Justice League. Let that sink in. They made an ensemble superhero movie that wasn't Justice League.
And we'll talk about that a little more later.
And we will. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Suicide Squad, if you don't mind.
Well, Suicide Squad is basically similar. If you're a comic book fan, you know what it's about. It's about basically it's the third installment in the DC universe.
The film universe.
The film universe, cinematic universe. Amanda Waller, you know, the
otherwise known as Nick Fury's sister.
Nick Fury's sister. That's that. You know, she recruits superpowered beings, bad guys, villains, to come in and try their hand at being good guys. To do her bidding, basically anything she wants, you know, needs to have done in order for them to get lighter prison sentences. I mean,
I don't know how you get lighter than 3 consecutive life sentences, but they're going to give it a shot.
Maybe they get cable TV or something. I don't know. I don't get it.
Conjugal visits every other Sunday.
Well, hey, with Marco Robbie in there, that's a big plus. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the cast of characters? Who do we have in this movie? Just the main folks.
We got Will Smith, of course.
Playing Black Deadshot.
Black Deadshot. We've got Margot Robbie.
Harley Quinn's ass.
Oh, man, what an ass.
So good.
We have Jared Leto.
Juggalo Joker.
Yeah, great job.
The do good job.
Yep. We have Jai Courtney.
The most interesting person in this movie, Captain Boomerang.
We have Joel Kinnaman.
The least interesting person in any movie.
Full shizzle. And we have Jay Hernandez.
The most pussified gangbanger this side of Compton.
And Viola Davis.
Nick Fury's sister.
Yeah.
They round up our cast of characters. But now that we've told you who's in it, let's talk about our first impressions from the trailers that we've seen. Mm-hmm. Before this movie came out, what did you think when you sat down and you saw that first trailer with... what was the song? I think it was Blitzkrieg Bop. I've been saying that for 3 days now.
Yeah.
So it sounds right in my head, so it could be wrong.
I can't. Yeah, I don't. The music gets away from me a lot of times. I like the music, but I don't know who sings a lot of that for the movie stuff. But
that first trailer with whatever music they used, how did you feel after seeing that? Was it something you were like, I got to see this fucking movie now?
No, I really wasn't. At first, I was like, oh, this could be pretty good until I seen Joker in it. And once I seen Joker in it, I was like, man, this movie's gonna suck, because I know, being a comic book reader, I know basically what Suicide Squad is about. And yeah, granted, they had stories where they brought Joker into Suicide Squad and stuff before, but you know, that's starting out. You don't just stick Joker in Suicide Squad. I understand why they did it to a degree, but the directing just wasn't good for me. But we can get into that later. But my first thoughts when I seen the trailer is I didn't. I'll probably see it. It's one of those things where I see it, I'll watch it at home.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
And I watched, and then after I actually seen when the movie, you know, my first thoughts when the movie come on was that at least when they did the trailer, they did it justice, because the trailers they did make them to make people that wanted to see it interested to go see it.
Yeah.
So you know, what about you?
My first thoughts on the trailer were awesome music. I can't exactly remember. I remember the Bohemian Rhapsody that Panic at the Disco did. Love Panic at the Disco, by the way, one of my favorite bands. And by band I mean guy, just one dude. Don't know how he has time to do it.
9 Inch Nails, he does it too.
Yeah, it's true, Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
But after seeing those trailers, for me, it was a lot of, I really want to see this. This looks like something that's right up my alley. I haven't sat down and read a lot of Suicide Squad, so I'm not going to get pissed off at the source material not being followed. Excuse me. But a lot of it for me was just one of those things where it's like I saw the trailer and I got wide-eyed. I was like, it's something that's awesome, because for me it reminded me a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy. You had interesting music choices, a cast of characters you don't really know much about, and it seemed to blend in that same kind of thing, which got me hyped. It kept my I had low expectations, as I do with every DC movie, but I had high hopes.
Well, I just remember how hyped I was when I seen the trailer for the very first Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when it was getting closer, I don't think I slept a couple nights. I mean, I was excited, but this is way at the other end. Like,
Yeah.
take it or leave it. But so basically, we're going to rate this film for you. Our rating system, the way it works is a lot of people use like your Rotten Tomatoes and they're different
1 to 100%. What's fresh? What's rotten?
All that
like
kind of stuff. Well, what we're going to do since we actually do this with Sketch Your Clown here, we're going to give our ratings in clowns. So
1 to 10 clowns.
1 to 10 clowns. And just to give you an idea, real quick and briefly, an idea of one being the worst ever. I mean, a good example of that is Geely. That was a good
That's
bad
one of the
movie.
worst movies ever made.
Yeah, Batman and Robin with the bat nipples.
And George Clooney.
Oh,
Not good. Bat Credit Card was in that too.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Weird.
And then Catwoman, of course. It's, it's
Horrible,
like-
horrible movie.
So then, what do you give us a couple of movies that you think average, like a 5?
5 average movies, you're looking at things like Man of Steel, I Am Legend, or The Punisher with Thomas Jane. Which would be better, but John Travolta was in it, so
There you go.
it's not good.
Yeah.
What about 10 out of 10, best movie I've ever
10 out of
seen?
10. Well, for me, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Iron Man. I know for you, be Shawshank
Redemption.
Yeah. So yeah, but that gives you an idea of how we're gonna give this rating. So
I get half a chub every time somebody brings up Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, you do.
Andy Dufresne. But let's get into the rating. What would you give this movie on our clown scale? 1 to 10, what is your rating for The Suicide Squad?
I am going with, and really, I'm being nice. I'm going 4 out of 10.
Damn, that's being nice.
I'm being nice.
This
yeah.
movie's worse than Man of Steel. Man of Steel was actually decent.
Well,
Thinking about it now.
Yeah, and the reason I give it 4 out of 10 is just, to me, the movie was poorly directed. It just was not. It went so many different. I won't say so many different directions, but what it did is it just got there was chemistry between, like, you had, the characters were great. I gotta say, whoever picked the characters was freaking, that dude just had a great day. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Will Smith, Margot Robbie, chemistry between those two, awesome. That was great. Joker and Harley Quinn, awesome. The chemistry was really good. The only thing was the overall groupage when they were trying to say, hey, it was like you're meeting for the first time, and 5 minutes later, hey, we're good buddies. They just jammed it in there too much. The direction just didn't flow right for me.
So not enough character development. It felt too much to jump into the fray rather than...
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. I can understand. That makes a lot of sense.
That and just having the kind of villains they had fighting the movie. Just high-powered villains going up against Suicide Squad, which is basically for lower level,
And if you've read into the book, Suicide Squad is more of the infiltration guys. They're the guys who go in and do, like, secret government opposite. Like, you're not going to send in the Navy SEALs to deal with Doomsday. You call Superman.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's just not how it works.
Exactly.
But, so you give it 4 out of 10. I understand your reasoning. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a little bit above average. Just simply for me, it was because the pacing of the movie felt right. They got from point A to point B in a way that made sense to me.
Okay.
I can understand what you're saying, where character development, aside from really... I think Deadshot's really the only one who had any real character story arc. Harley kind of had one. But with Harley, she's insane, so you don't expect to see that development and character arc.
Right.
But Will Smith's character arc and everything like that is what really sold the movie for me. He was one of my favorite parts of that movie, along with Joker and Harley.
And that kind of tells you something to me. It tells you something right there, because when they put that kind of a, they strongly emphasize the backstory and things on certain people. That that tells you they're going to have a little bit of longevity within the movie, within the universe. They're going to be in more.
Yeah.
The other ones probably just pushed aside.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, because Captain Boomerang is my sleeper for this movie. Like, he's the one who, going into it, I'm like, they're putting fucking Captain Boomerang in this movie? Are you kidding me?
Oh, he just jumped out of that bag and punched him in the face.
It was
It's
like
yeah, that's Captain Boomerang.
Even
right
him
there.
coming into the movie, like, from his introduction to when the movie's over, he is one of the best characters in that movie. And I hate Jai Courtney. I cannot stand him as an actor. I think he's horrible.
I did like him.
Did great.
I liked him in that.
He was good on Spartacus.
Spartacus, yeah.
He was good on that.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in anything else that he was good in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I thought it flowed better than most of DC's movies. It didn't feel so convoluted. Like, you knew what they were doing, and they did it pretty quickly.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's go. Let me ask a question. Then what, out of that, who would you say was your favorite character? And I mean, not the actor themselves, but the character that they played in that movie.
My favorite character, it's a toss-up between Joker and Deadshot. Okay. Harley's ass is a close third, because that had more screen time than anybody.
Yeah, it depends on the reasons why you're. Yeah, I guess Harley's ass would be up there if, like, It was Friday night. Nobody else was home, and I was sitting at home by myself.
It was added to the spank bank for later.
Yes.
But no, Joker and Deadshot. Deadshot, as I already said, pretty much because he had an actual character arc. He had an arc that was followed throughout the movie. You were invested in his character. You cared about the outcome. Diablo's up there as far as that sense goes because he truly did have a character arc. Like, he had a point A to point B. He had a conflict that was resolved, things like that. He had a lot of issues that got dealt with, same as Will Smith's character. Mm-hmm. Joker, just because I thought Jared Leto was fucking great.
I tell you what,
he knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah, and you know what? And I say for me, I have to say that I agree. I didn't like the fact Joker was in the movie, but since they decided they were going to put Joker in there, they could not have picked a better person to play Joker. He did an outstanding job. Up there with Heath Ledger. I'm sorry, but it just...
He is. It was. They're two different Jokers, so I wouldn't sit there and compare the two.
No, not comparing, but it's
But performance-wise and how it made you feel like you were back reading the books and everything like that, this was very much a modern-era Joker, which is awesome.
He did such a good job. I was watching the newspaper to see if he was going to die. Oh, shit.
That's the most fucked up joke. Oh my god, that wasn't in the script and I didn't see it coming. That's fucked up, man. Holy shit.
True is true, sorry.
Whew, that hit me. Was not ready for that. What is your least favorite character in that movie?
Probably the same you're going to pick with me is probably Rick Flag because it's so vanilla. And I tell you what, I've read some books, not necessarily Rick Flag books, but I read books that Rick Flag was in when I was younger, and yeah, he was a lot more exciting than Joel Kinnaman was making him out. He just didn't do it right. And
I agree. Rick Flag was my least favorite character. He seemed so mundane, like he just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm here because they told me to be here.
Yeah.
He's
like anybody could have played that part. Could have just been somebody standing over there and hand me that, would you? You know?
It didn't seem like he really had a place, and they shoehorned in a romance with him
exactly.
to try and make him more interesting, but I don't think it worked.
Yeah.
It didn't really work for me. Right. Going forward, what does this movie mean to the DC universe? Like, this movie in the 10 years from now, when DC has finished their run of all these movies that are connected, excuse me, what do you see this movie being on that?
I do not see any connection in this movie being with the... I mean, generally, sometimes you might see a villain or something that might have got brought in from here and might skip over another movie, but nothing in this movie... They could have not let this movie out, and the DC universe would move on steadily and calmly with no problem. It's there's no reason to have that movie there except just to watch the movie. I mean, you know, that's about it. For
me, this movie holds kind of not an important place. I call it a footnote. It's an asterisk next to DC's cinematic universe. This entire movie is an audition for Harley Quinn, for Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn to get her solo movie.
Right.
And it's also a platform for Will Smith. Hopefully he signed a multiple movie deal, because I'd like to see him pop up in other comic book movies as an assassin. I don't want to see him ever be the main villain. I want to see him be a secondary player in other things, like a Batman movie or something like that. I want to see him get a contract on Batman, and it gets taken care of, and that's how you get to your main villain kind of a thing, whoever hired him.
Like the game.
Like what?
Like the game.
Oh, yeah, pretty much exactly like the fucking game. I wasn't even thinking about that when I said it.
Yeah.
But for me, this movie is nothing but a footnote. Like, it doesn't really do much for the extended universe of DC cinematics. It's just there. It's a placeholder.
To me, it's kind of like DC wants to try and build a big character list to get who they've introduced, like, to catch up at Marvel.
And that's exactly what it kind of feels like, because with Marvel you had Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America. You had all these movies come out, and then you got your ensemble movie. DC kind of went, we put out Superman, fuck it, add 20 more. And it just feels like they're playing catch-up, which if you're anybody who's working in any kind of film content producing thing knows that's not how you do it.
They should, honestly, in my opinion, they should have pushed and focused hard on a Batman movie.
And unfortunately they didn't, and that's not going to be out for a couple more years. We're not going to see a solo Batman movie until after Justice League, but Deathstroke is the villain. I love Deathstroke. He's awesome. But the only thing this movie really does for me as far as what it can be is it gives me hope that we're going to see more badass female movies. Like, Harley Quinn's getting her own movie out of this. We got the Wonder Woman movie coming out. Maybe down the line we get a Supergirl or Power Girl movie that's worth a shit.
Because any superhero movie before with a female lead role, they sucked. Catwoman, I mean, that was not a hero, but anti-hero or whatever. But you had that. You had Supergirl. That sucked. I've seen other Wonder Woman TV movies and stuff. They all suck. But I'm very excited to see the Wonder Woman movie coming up. I'm excited to see definitely the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
And I hope it gets an R rating. Would that be great?
That would be fucking awesome.
Oh my god!
I think that's one thing that hindered the Suicide Squad more than anything was that it was PG-13.
Yeah, because we could have seen a naked Harley ass instead of just a Harley ass. You know?
That's not what I meant.
That's what I meant.
That would have been nice, but for me, if it were rated R, I think we would have gotten to see more of what we should have seen from these characters. Because as much of it was fun and it was, it wasn't brutal.
They could have gave it an X rating and it didn't change who they were up against, so it didn't matter.
Well, no, for me, but leading up to that, the fighting all the like weird alien creatures, they bled green because they couldn't show red, or else they get an R rating. It just the movie for me. If you've got a movie about a bunch of bad guys, they're gonna be fucking brutal. They're not gonna have restraint, and it felt a lot like there's a lot of restraint in there, which just seemed off to me.
Right.
I'm thinking about it now. This could have been earlier in this, but it just kind of popped into my head that an R rating would have made more sense for this kind of movie.
Yeah.
But this has been our inaugural episode. Of Spoiler Alert.
Yeah.
We didn't really spoil anything, so we got to spoil something real quick.
Okay. Well, what is the spoil? I mean, except for the movie's.
El Diablo dies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, you've seen the movie.
But I didn't see that part. No.
How did you not watch the end of the movie?
Joking.
So yeah, if we don't get to a spoiler in these shows, we're just gonna throw one out at the end to fuck with you.
Yeah.
So Diablo dies.
Yeah.
Rip.
Oh. And the other one too, but Will Smith and Rick Flag have a gay moment. You got to find out where it is. You'll see.
That doesn't happen.
Nah.
Oh my god, that was.
But some of you have to be trying to look.
Yeah. We're gonna be looking up fan fiction of Rule 34.
Yeah.
But this has been Spoiler Alert with Sketchier Clown and my co-host
Circle K.
Circle K. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll get another one out to you soon. Please remember to like, subscribe, share the video, things like that. Leave comments. Tell us what movie you want to talk about. You want us to talk about next.
And let us know what you think about his hair, because I really want to know what you think about it.
Tell us about the hair. But this has been Spoiler Alert. Thanks for watching, guys.